Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave. Today we're going to continue our playthrough of Carrier Battle, Philippine Sea from Compas Games and designed by John Southard. Okay, couple of things I need to correct, a couple housekeeping things. The first one, I made myself a note when I did my last video after I'd already finished the turn. I need to adjust Air Mission 2 for the fuel level because it was Combat Air Patrol. And I just launched him with the full fuel load of 16. So we're going to roll. And we have a table for that. And it is on Player Aid, Card 1, Front. Interception, fuel level table. So we roll on this table. And we're going to see what our actual fuel level was. And then we're going to adjust our fuel level. So we get, oh brother, a 1. The worst possible outcome, which means I only had 10, so I got to take 6 off of where I am up here on my fuel level. So we go 1, flip this over, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's down to 5 fuel points now. All right, well, that corrects that. Now the next thing is a couple things I have to do. One of the viewers pointed out that when I draw my chits, I should play one chit at a time, get them all the way through their phase, so that before I do the next one. So I'll make sure I do that. And then here I'm supposed to put these max radius markers actually out on the end of the radius where they're going to go. So I'm going to do that right now. So they launched from here. And this guy's intent was to come out this way. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here, because I had adjusted him a little bit. So that's where he's going to go, Patrol 1. Patrol 2 is coming down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So his is going to be here. Patrol 3, I had going straight out. So he's going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And Patrol 4, I was splitting this one down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's where he was headed. Okay. So that gets all my homework done. So that puts us back on an even keel. All right. This is starting June 19th, and it is now 08:10 in the morning. All right, so this is the third turn of this battle. We are over here on phase 1 again, and segment is place new Japanese forces. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 7 is 10. We place 1/3 of those, so 3 into there means that we will place 3. So we're going to add 3 forces. So we'll just get these out, and they will be J, K, and T will be the 3 new forces that we're going to place. And then I'll also have to get out their chits and add them to the cup. So I'm going to grab those real quick. Okay, so we have placed new Japanese forces. So we got to roll for these guys. So we'll start with J, and we're going to roll. We're going to be back over here on the board, and there is a table right here that tells us what zone he's going to go in. So this one's a 5. It goes into zone 2. Zone 2 is a busy zone up here, and he goes in hex number or spot number 1. Which is right here. Okay. We got Force K. He is a 2. He goes into zone 1 up here. First time into zone 1. And we have a 10. Oh, he's way up there. That's dangerous for me. And Force T, Tango, is a 4. That's zone 2. And he's going into 4. Well, that's out here. All right. So I got some search planes headed out there. All right, next thing we do is fill the sequence chip cup. So we add 3 right here. And I need to count these again because I forget how many I have in there. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, divided by 4. So 4 goes into 18 4 times plus 2 left over. So we're going to draw, we draw 4 per. I think I'm going to have to draw 5 per. I think I did that wrong. Let me check it. Yeah, because we only have 4 phases. You divide that by 4. 4 divided by 18 is 4, but that's left over, so you move it up to 5. So we're going to pull 5, and the first 3 pulls will be 5 chits. That's 15, and then the last draw will only be 3. Then, depending on how many forces we get next time, you can see how that goes. If I round it down, I won't. There's 2 chits that won't get pulled, and I don't think that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so I almost messed that up. I went back to the rules. Remember, we started with no ops in there. So the no op chits keep the balance, so it's always divisible by 4. So in this case, the number of task forces on the board plus the submarine, the U.S. move, and the Guam, so that's 3. So a quick way to do it is count. We lost 1 task force, but what I did was I went back and I took out all the no ops. Remember these no operation chits right here. Oops, upside down. Remember that there was 3 of those in there when we started. So what I did was I took all of them out, counted out. I got to 15 markers. I needed 1 to make it 16. I added 1 no op, so there's only 1 no op in there this turn. Okay, and that way we draw 4 per again. Okay, so remember, you always base it on the number of task forces on your board plus the U.S. move, the submarine chit, and the Guam chit. If you were playing up in Rule 16 and you were also using Iwo and Peleliu, then you would have those chits in there also, and that would change what you do with your no-ops. Okay, so I'm glad I went back and looked that up to make that clear, so that's, make sure we're doing that right. Okay, so we got our chits per phase marker is back at 4 again. I had it at 5, it's at 4. So we'll come out nice and even. We're going to move all air raids. We don't have any air raids to move. Everybody was shot down on that last air raid. And I take that back. Guam still has 2 on theirs. So this air raid is moving. 1, 2. He's on top of Task Force 58. Aha. But I skip a day, so I got to recatch where I'm at. That's why we use this. We kind of look around. Okay. We're getting off to a slow start, but I think it's better because we're going to get everything right here. Now we roll for mission movement. So we're going to roll this little red die over here. Well, I'll roll it right here where you can see. Mission movement is going to be a 2. So that's what everybody's going to do. Now we draw our sequence chits. All right, here we go. We're going to draw 4 in order. This is how we're going to play them. So we get Task Force Bravo. Next one is No-Op. Okay, we got that one out early. Task Force Juliet. And Task Force Alpha. Okay, I'll go ahead and take the no-op, set him off to the side here. And we're going to start with Bravo. So we drew our sequence chits over here. So we took our sequence chits. Now we have to start with each force, resolve air raid procedure. Okay, so we're working task force Bravo. Bravo is right here. His range is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he has a range of 8. And what we're doing now is checking to see if there's going to be an air raid come from Task Force Bravo. So we're back on card 2, the back side, Japanese air raid generation table. We're at 0, 8, 10 in the morning. Maximum range is 11, so they're now in range. Die roll modifier is a -1. His range modifier is 0, so it's going to be a -1. A 4 or less is no attack. Okay, here we go. -1, 4 or less. 6, -1's a 5. Okay, we're going to have an attack. All right. Well, now we need to show you what to do here when you actually get an air raid from an unknown task force. We got some things that are going to happen here. Okay, so I want to work you through this. Work me too. And I find using the rule book is very handy for the explanation when you're learning this. I struggled using the air raid flow chart, but when I use it in conjunction with the rules, it starts to make sense to me. But if you're not sure what you're seeing here, use the rule book, because the rule book explains it as you move along, and that's what we're going to do. Then we'll go back and compare it to the flow chart so you can see it. So we're the air raid procedure. So there's questions that you start asking yourself here at 10.1. Is this, if this were a carrier force, would it attack me now? Steps A and B. So the first thing is it potentially eligible to launch a raid? So it doesn't have 2 raids in progress. So yes, it can launch a raid. And otherwise, the force is potentially eligible to launch a raid if either it's carrier force or is a level 0 or level 1 small, medium, or large force. And the carrier commitment limit has not yet been exceeded, which we're not at the carrier commitment limit yet because we haven't exposed anything. Okay, does the force discover a target within range? Well, that's what we did on that table when we rolled to say, can it get to a target? So yes, it can. So we did all that. Now we're at C, is this in fact a carrier force? So what we do now is, this is a level 0 force. So we have to draw a level 1 intelligence chit and see what we're going to have here. And this will help determine what's going to happen. We're giving her a little shake. We're going to draw a chit. And we get, a double force. Oh boy. When things got to be complicated, now's when they get that way. Okay. So we're going to have a level 1 here. Okay. Now, if it is a small, medium, or large force, which we do not know yet, continue to step C2. Okay. If it is any type of surface chit or a false contact, replace the level 1 chit in the cup. The force reverts to level 0 and does not launch a strike. All right, so now I'm going to have to research a little bit of the double force to make sure that I get that one right too. If the force is level 1, large, medium, or small, use the level 1 to level 2 intelligence table to determine the level 2 force chit. If this turns out to be a carrier force, proceed to step D. You now have a level 2 carrier force. We're going to have some action. All right. So I need to come in. I got to look up this this level 2, or not level 2, but this double force, and make sure that I get this one right. So let me check this. We'll go through this, make sure we get it right. Okay, so here we go. We got to resolve the double force. So right back here, 7.5 double forces. It's optional, but I'm using it. It does add some complexity, but you know what? This is part of how things worked. Okay, so we added the level 1 force chits labeled double force to the cup. There's 3 of them, I believe. We removed from the level 1 chit cup the following: 2 L1 carrier chits, 1 L1 large chit, and 1 L1 surface chit, and 2 false contacts. We set the carrier force chits and the large force chit aside for use during play. Okay, so I have them set aside up here. I have 2 carriers and a large force right there, and the 2 false contacts aren't going to get used, I believe. Okay. Take 1 additional Japanese force from among those not in play and place it in the same hex as the original force. So I did. Here's R. So I'm putting R in here with B. And the double force marker goes on top as a reminder. All right. The 2 halves of the double force must move together for the rest of the game. You put both activation chits into the cup, moving the force when the first of the 2 is drawn and ignoring the second. The 2 component forces function in every other way as separate forces. They are searched and detected separately. They launch their air raid separately. Do not combine. Okay, and the commitment rules. We haven't committed anything because we haven't discovered anything yet. Okay, so we take one of the, from the 2 carrier and 1 large force chits held out, we draw 2 of them. Place 1 of these with each component force. All right, so here's the 3. I'm just going to shake them up in my hand here. You can see me shaking. And we draw 2 of these. The first one is the large force. So the second one's going to be a carrier. There's no doubt about it. Okay, because that's what was there. So we'll make the large drew out with B, and the carrier drew out with R. Okay. Now, that gets the double force there as a level 1. So then we have to come back to this launching of the forces here. So is this in fact a carrier task force? Okay. If this is a carrier force chit, continue to step D. You now have a level 1 carrier force. If it is any type of surface chit or a false contact, replace the level 1 chit in the cup. The force reverts to level 0 and does not launch a strike. So, the question here is, does that mean that the large force now reverts back? If it is a small, medium, or large force, continue to step C2. Level 1 intelligence table to determine oh no, it stays on there. So each one of these now we have to work here. Okay. In step D, we're going to have to determine we do not have a known air strength. E, determine strength of raid. Known air strength, unknown air strength. Okay. All right. So first thing we have, so I got to bear with me because I'm figuring this out too. I only ran into this once in my training scenarios, and it wasn't this complicated with everything going on and everything being unknown. So bear with me. I'm going to work us through this, and then we'll see how this works. So instead of, I think I may have just missed, I think my camera just skipped. I'm going to tell you what we just did. Okay, we replaced Task Force R right here with Butai 1, the force marker for Butai 1. And we know it is a level 1 carrier, and it is still a double force. So the R chit comes out and the Butai 1 chit goes in. And because something just jumped on me there, I want to make sure that I can always cut this out if I have to, but we drew 7 air points for Air Raid 1A, and Air Raid 1A launched right here, coming towards our task force. Whew, okay, we got a lot going on. We got an air raid coming, another one. So we got lots of stuff happening here. All right. So we still have a task force here, and they're still going to operate together, but we don't know what the makeup of this one is. It did not launch any aircraft, so we still don't know, but it could be a carrier force. They just didn't launch. That's what makes this interesting, I think, because you really still don't know what you got going on there. But we know there's a carrier up there, which means it may be getting time to start airstrikes now and see if we can go hit these guys. They're not that far away, so this might be a good chance to get a hit on a carrier, but they're launched first, so we're also going to have some fighters stick around up here. So here we're getting a lot. This is when it starts. You know what? When you're playing the game, you start to feel the tension already, right? It's like, oh crap! I still got a ground aircraft over here messing around with me, and I still got fighters in the air. I still got search planes going on, and now I got all this happening too. Okay, so we're going to come back over here to our flowchart because we're really still on B, but we've got this action happening with this double display now. So we went ahead and resolved air raid procedure, and I did do R because E activated at the same time. So next time R's chit will be in the cup, and it'll be it'll be Butai 1 will be in there, but whether Butai 1 or B comes up, they'll move together. So we resolved the air raid procedure. Now we're going to move our force 1 hex. Okay, so this force moves in direction 2, and they're in this zone here, and direction 2 is down this way. So very interesting. They launched and they moved with them. So they're coming this way. Okay, we don't have any US advantage. We don't reduce that detection status because it's still a level 1. And air return, turnaround, we don't have US movement. So that would take care of Task Force B. Okay, that was Task Force B and now R Romeo. So they're done. Now we have Task Force J, Juliet. And J is here. So we have to do the same thing again. We have to do resolve air raid procedure for J. So he's here. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 9 hexes away, so we know he's in range. 11's the range, so he's -1. He's at 9, so it's 0. So it's a -1 die roll. 6 - 1's 5. Here we go again. Another possible raid. Okay, this is where it's starting to get active. So now we draw our level 1 intelligence chip here, and we get a surface. We'll put that on him, but I think that's going to be something different this time. See, we're getting everything, every possible. This is what always happens when you're doing a video. You get every possible combination of things that you weren't really hoping to get. Okay, if it is any type of a surface chit, replace the level 1 chit in the cup. The force reverts to level 0 and does not launch a strike. All right, so this chit goes back in my cup. He stays as a level 0. And so he now moves in direction 2. And he's in this zone, so he's going to move this way. All right. And that's all he has. He comes off. And now we got force A, alpha. He's up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's in range. But at 10, he's a -1 for the time. And at 10 is a -1, so he's a -2. So we'll see if he's going to try to launch a raid. 10, he does. Okay. Everything's happening. So we got to draw us a level 1 again and see what we get. And we get false contact. So the chick goes back in the cup and he reverts to a level 0. And now he's going to move on a 2. He's moving down this direction. All right. Wow. We got a ton of stuff going on. That's it for that task force A. Okay, we've moved everybody. I don't have U.S. movement. I don't have Guam. Anything to do there. No subs. So we are now move air missions. So I can move my air missions. Air mission intercept 1 is going to move 1 hex. And he's going to burn 1 fuel point. Takes him down to 2. Air mission 2 is going to move 2. He's trying to intercept this guy. 1, 2, and I have to roll 5 or less. I only use up 2 fuel points. 5. Okay, so I don't burn up any extra fuel. But he's intercepting, so he burns up 3. 1, and now he's going to go into critical fuel. 2, 3. So I'm back this direction. So I used up critical fuel here to get him there. So that's my 2 air missions that I had airborne. Air mission 3 is still on combat air patrol, so I'm leaving them. They're staying on cap. I could have had them engage, and I'm wondering if that's not what I should have done. They only have two fighters, and he's got 2. You know what? Oh, he's got 3. He's got 3 there. We're going to attack with this group because this is my big group. I know I'm burning up some fuel, but got to do it. Got to do it. Okay, so we'll leave the other guys. Will stay on cap. They're not going to move. Okay. So I adjusted my fuel markers. I can initiate air searches. I'm going to go ahead and do my air searches now. I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm going to launch. I'm going to launch an air searches from 58-1. So he's launching. He's got a single. He will be search origin 5. He's coming out of this same group. This is getting to be a pretty big stack right here. But I haven't moved my task force lately. Okay, he's launching from there. I'm sending him up where all these cats are. I got one guy way over there. It wouldn't hurt to go find him. So maybe that's what I should do with this one. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I launch him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. He won't be able to see him. I'm not ready to go after that guy yet. I better come up this way. All right, we're going to send this guy. Oh, I got these two down here. Maybe I better send this guy down this way, see what they can find. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll come off of this spline right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So search 5. That's going to be this guy. He's coming out there 1, 2, this way. And then the other one will be search 6. He's also going to be coming off of this same hex. I'm going to mess around, knock all this over before I'm all done. He's coming out the same direction these guys are, but he'll be 2 behind these 2. There's 2 of these. I'm going to put them right here. I'll tell you what, I'm going to mark him right now because I haven't moved those guys. Well, the next thing they do is move. So I'm going to move those guys, get them out of my way. 1, 2. Oops. He's the one headed this way, up this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going in that direction there. This guy's going to replace them here on 6. He's coming up this way. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's going right here where that force E is. Okay. He's coming down that way. He's going up there, and these guys are moving. 2, 3, 4. Right there. I'm not launching any other air searches. So I'm moving all my air searches here. He's coming down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. He's pointing this way. This guy would be pointing. He's pointing like that. But you got to put him facing one of the hexes there. So we're working here and here with these guys. So they've made their, and they're going to get a look out here and see what's out here. Okay, so we're starting to get our air searches are moving now. This guy's going to get out here, and these guys are moving away from him. So I hope that he's going to see something pretty soon. And he doesn't see that group yet. He'll see them the next time he moves, maybe, depending on where they're at. Okay, we resolved search attempts. So I do have search attempts that I can resolve now. This is 8.3, but this uses, find my card for this. Card 1 on the back. So now we're going to be able to search down here and see what we're going to find. These guys here, so the way we count our hexes are back from the aircraft this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can only search, so far there. Okay, so we have air search table. This guy is a range of 1 from his location. And I'm just going to double check myself to make sure I'm telling you right. Okay. So we use the air search table, and we do have modifiers. So our range is the range from the task force to the force that we're searching. In this case, it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a 9 is going to be -1 modifier. I'm not shadowing. I do have 2 search units here. So it's +1. So now I'm even. It's not fighters, it's not dusk or night. Okay, so I'm a straight up, a 1 to 3, I don't get anything. 6. 6 is going to be decent. So a 6 gives us S, a result of S. So sighted, spotted. So he is spotted now. So Task Force C is now spotted. Okay. What's that mean? So if you obtain an SL or question mark, we draw a level 1 chit and we see what we got. And it is false contact. Dropped one out of the cup, put it back in there. False contact means he goes away. Do you believe? Let's see. Yep, if it's false contact, remove the force and discard the false contact. So this one, he spotted and there's nothing there. So Task Force C is now off the board. And when I pull his chit, I'm going to put it up here and the false contact comes off. So he did his job there. Now we're going to spot, he can spot 4 hexes this way, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a like an area of 4, and then 1, 2, he's pointing this way, he comes off here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it comes down this direction. So Task Force D is in my area, so I can see him, and he was at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's at 8, and then 8 is still a -1, and I'm still +1. So again, it's a no modifier. So here we go. 3, nothing. So he's too far out. We didn't see him. 3 or less, no result. Okay, so he's done. Now we got this guy. He's a single, so we know that's a -1, and because he's a single, he gets no modifier. So it's -1, and he gets a 9, makes that an 8. And 8 is S chit +1. Okay. If you obtain a chit +1, so he's spotted, we know that, he's spotted, +1, against a level 0, the +1 is ignored. So now, we're going to see what he is. And he is, oh, another double force. Oh boy. This is the last one. The next time a double force comes out, it counts as a no contact. Daggone it. Now we've got a spotted on a double force down here. We're going to have to work our way through that one too. So we're going to have to take the next force marker, which is going to be I, and add him down here. And then we're going to have to go through those steps again to see what these guys are. And I'm going to have to go back and look, because with that double force on the second time around, all right, before I forget, because I don't want to be jumping around here, I know it probably feels like I am, but I have my commitment, limit, and index. The index should have been at 0. And when I revealed this level 1, because I do not know, it does not have a known air strength, it went up to a 4. So the commitment now is 4. Right there. Okay. All right. I didn't want to lose track of that because it's easy to do. All right. Now we got to come back here again. And we got to work our way back through this. Same deal that we had up here. I guess I'm glad to be finding out what I got and see what happens. So we have the double forces again. The two halves of the double force moving, let's see, two components. It is possible for a second double force to enter play. In this case, use the remaining chit from the 3 that we withheld earlier, and also take one additional level 1 chit from the cup. Okay, so we're gonna have, we have a carrier, and now I have to take a second carrier. So both of these are going to be carriers. This is even worse for me down here. So force D has a carrier. Force I is going to have a carrier. And now we're going to have to find out what these two cats are going to be doing here. So I revealed the double force, but they don't take any actions yet. But I will have to put I into the cup now. And then whichever one of these I pull first, D or I, that's who will determine if they're moving. Here it is. Sorry, getting it out of the bag. All right, so we have force I. He's here. This is a level 1 force. It's a double force, and it's spotted. We'll put I into the cup. Okay. So that was my resolve search. So I know that I've got, I know that I have these double forces down there. And there's a couple carriers there. Okay, and they are spotted. So we now know that they're there. So we need to get we got some actions to take here now. Okay. All right, things are getting hectic. That's for sure. That's the end of my search segment. I won't have any more search activity happening. Okay. All right. Air operations. Here we go. We can launch air operations. So I got an air raid coming towards me. So I'm going to launch a strike, and I can combine as much as I want. I don't have anything happening here yet, but I'm going to launch from 58.3. I'm going to launch another intercept. This will be intercept 4, air mission 4. I'll put that marker up there by that. All right, we're going to take 3 fighters from 58.3, 1 from 58.4. That's 4. It's a pretty good size raid. I'd like to hit them hard if I can. And I think we need to take 2, 3, 4. Most likely they'll only have two air units there for fighters. 4. I got to keep some for some escort duty, which could come from these guys or could come from these guys. Or I got these guys up. I got some bombers I could launch here. They're not the best ones, but I could launch a strike. I can go this way or I can go that way. These guys are closest. But I'd love to hit these guys if I could get them first. Okay, so I got 4. I got 4 fighters. I think I'm going to send up I think I'll send 2 more from 58.1. That gives me 6 fighters in this strike mission. Intercept 4. They're going to launch and they're going to move out 1. And they get their full fuel, 16. So it'll go down to 15 because they only moved one space. They can, that's the max they can move out. But there they go. Okay. That was my launch for those fighters. Let's see. I'm going to launch a strike mission also, I think. So it looks like I need to change my battery. Let me do that. All right, we're going to launch Airstrike 5. I'm going to set the counter up here. And Airstrike 5 is coming out. And I'm going to send him I could do 2 different airstrikes. We don't know what he's going to have up there. What have I got up here? 2, 4. I have 6 of these guys available. I could send those 4 after this one and determine what he is for sure. It's a double up there. Or I could come down here. I know there's 2 carriers down there. I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to send airstrike mission number 5 is going to be, we're going to launch 4 SB-2Cs and 2 fighters into air mission 5. And their fuel is going to be 14 because you have to go with the lowest rated aircraft, and that's what the bombers are. So we start with 14. Airstrike 5. He's coming out this way. Right here. He's going to go down to 13 now. Okay. So we got them launched, and now they're coming down hunting these guys. We got to see, you know, do we risk sucking up fuel trying to get them there fast? And then I'm going to launch 2 more SB-2Cs with 1 fighter escort for air mission 6. Airstrike 6 right here. We're launching him. He also will start with 14. We're going to use 1, move him to 13. He's coming out right here with intercept 4. He's coming out the same way, and they're going to go see if they can hit this double force up here, or at least there's a carrier there. Maybe we can put something on him, or identify him, do something, right? So we're going to send those guys up there, see what they can find. Okay, raise servicing to ready. And I've got, so I've got these 2 Wildcats, Hellcats are moving up in 58-1. And I got these coming up here in 58-2. They're raising up. Let's see, Air Mission 2 is part of 58-3. And so is Air Mission 1. Those are the guys I'm going to be wanting to land next turn, probably. So I want to get those guys going. And we're going to also move up 58-4 Hellcats there. So I'm getting fighters ready in case we got to defend here. Things are starting to get hectic. Hangar to or from servicing. Okay. So I can move on these big carriers. I can move 2 fighters up here, 2 fighters here. I'm also going to move up on my CVLs. I can move 1. So I'm going to move a TBM and a TBM here. Here I'm going to move up 2 more fighters. And I'm going to move up a TBF and a TBF and a TBM. So I'm getting some bombers coming up now. Down here, I'm going to bring up 2 TBFs, 2 SBDs, a TBM, and another SBD. And then down here, we're going to service up 2 more F6Fs, a TBF, and a TBM. Okay, so you can see this takes time to start getting everybody going here. You know, you got to get them serviced, you got to get them armed, you got to get them fueled. Here we go. Lower flight deck to hangar. Nope. And don't have anybody to land yet. Okay, now we go air-to-air combat. So we got the land group over here, they're bombers. So I got intercept 2 is on these guys. That is 4 fighters. So we're gonna have air-to-air combat. I got 4 fighters attacking these guys. Okay, they don't have any fighters, already shot them down. It's +1 for my target is land aircraft. All right, so I get a +1 on this roll. Let's see if we can knock these bombers down before they even get to my ships. A 4 +1's a 5. So a 5 on 4 is 1. So I got 1 air point there. So I took him out. So that leaves them with 2. Okay. So Japanese choose their target. Okay, first thing they got to do, we already know the whole task force is there. So we got to resolve the battle line. The question is, are they going to attack the battle line or try to fly over it or avoid it altogether? All right, Japanese action versus the battle line. Here we go. We're going to roll, and there is no modifier. It is a 3. Divert, attack the battle line. Okay, well, the battle line has 170. Their anti-aircraft is on the, it's going to be hard for you to see it. It's up here, and they are at 17 times 10, so that's 170 for their full AA. When you attack the battle line, you're coming after my battleships. So I have 170 anti-aircraft fire. So we're going to do anti-aircraft fire. And we get 6. All right, anti-aircraft fire, a 6 on 170s all the way over. So it's the white line. It's 3 and 3. Number to the left is aborted, and to the right is eliminated. Well, there's only 2, so they aborted. Okay, so that means they don't attack. All right. So they're not going to attack, so they abort. There's no air-to-ship combat. We don't have to check for fire. There's no air attack. U.S. air attack segment, because we haven't got to their ships yet, so we skip all of that, and we finally get down to advanced phase marker. Okay, wow, this whole thing has been one phase. You can see we ran into a mess here with 2 double forces, air attacks starting to happen. We're going to move this to phase 2, and I got to tell you, I'm going to stop at phase 2. I'm going to put the marker up here. It's going to start with move all air raids. And I'm going to regroup here. And it's actually getting late for me, and I'll probably, time I edit this and release it tomorrow, then that'll give me a chance to check a couple other rules, make sure I've got everything right. And then we'll pick this up. So I'm going to call this part 3A, because it's going to be part 3A and then maybe B, and hopefully it won't get into B and C and D. Hopefully now that we've got these double forces going and we get some other things happening, things will go a little quicker. But I know this one ran pretty long, so I want to call it here. Man, a lot of decisions you have to make. I can tell you, when you start seeing airstrikes coming, then you start worrying, right? Because it's like, uh-oh, here they come. So this is the fun part of the game. Now's when we got to start fighting back. Hope you're enjoying it. I am. Hopefully I didn't make too many mistakes. Hopefully things are clear, I hope. If not, leave me a note as always, or a comment. I always appreciate those, and I do try to make corrections before we start the next video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And as always, please give me a thumbs up. Like this video. It does help me with YouTube searches and things like that. All right, everybody have a good one, and I'll see you for the next part.